Let's do that again.
Well met.
Hello and welcome back to the Mobile Esports Arena Hearthstone tournament for the month of August. I am joined by...
Expert of MD, and he's...
and I'm Prince. So, it's the third round. We actually have Aggronicus versus Meekopi. Aggronicus, one of, again, the grinders of the game, part of Team Soulfire. He's actually teammates and very good friends with our previous player, Jammy, who took home round 2.
Yeah.
So if we had a lot of control matchups the previous round, we actually have an aggressive lineup this time of the hour, and it's actually coming from Meekopi, who brought an all aggressive lineup. So a little bit of Meekopi's lineup. He's bringing in decks that have been established previously already. We see Pirate Warrior, we see Token Shaman, we see Aggro Druid, and precisely why I like this expansion so much. Parang people have been hyping Knights of the Frozen Throne so much because of all the flashy cards and everything. But on my part, I'm excited because it's bringing so many new things to decks that have been established already.
But in contrary, I know the same kasi yung si Aggronicus is carrying a lot of aggro decks also. No, just like around 2 aggro decks, Token Shaman and mid-range Marlock Paladin, and he also carries Medivh Jade Druid and Exodia Mage.
Fortunately, we're actually going to see some Exodia Mage action because the bannings have come through. Aggronicus's Druid, Jade Druid in particular, has been banned. Unfortunately, we're not going to see the bigger side of Jade Druid, which is packing the Medivh, as you said, Lich King, as well as the Black Knight. And on the other hand, we see a respect to Pirate Warrior. We see that Pirate Warrior is still a very good deck.
Yes.
In that Meekopi's Pirate Warrior has been banned. So here's our first round. We see Token Shaman versus Meekopi's Token Druid. So Aggronicus with a pretty good starting hand actually. He can mull the patches, of course, ensuring that he's going to get the value with the Bloodsail Corsair.
So he still has a good curve right now. And okay, so
Meekopi
just
he just passed the turn because he's actually looking to get some value from the Hungry Crab. And we're actually going to see the value from the Hungry Crab because it's going to eat the 1/1 Murloc that comes out of the Primal Fin Totem. It's important to note that it's actually a Murloc.
Yes.
And this is a huge tempo swing for Meekopi because a 3/4 minion for 1 to cast is amazing.
Yeah, so after casting the Hungry Crab, he probably will kill the 0-3 Primal Fin Totem.
Yeah. And we'll actually see Aggronicus get a bit punished in the latter parts of the game. Of course, we see both our players' hands, but Aggronicus isn't aware that Meekopi actually has his own Golakka Crawler as well. Yeah. So it's going to be Crab dominance here in the first round. Although on the other hand, Aggronicus drew Thrall. Death Knight Thrall. So let's talk about the new Death Knight Thrall a bit. So Thrall Death Seer, is actually the cheapest Death Knight, and it has a very impactful battle cry in that it evolves your board twice. So a board of 1 drops is just 3 drops already, and it's so much tempo swing for a 5 to cast card.
But the problem is, if you're Thrall Death Seer already, you don't have you cannot take out a totem, and it is and the hero power has changed already. You can evolve 1 minion. So he takes out. There's patches.
Yep.
And
I think Aggronicus is probably going to clear the 2/2 and then leave the Hungry Crab up because he actually has no good way of answering it. But Meekopi answering with a Golakka Crawler as well. So cheap minions, one to cast, two to cast, but overly statted if you get the ability off. And Meekopi is going to get a very huge board and probably going to pump this.
Yeah,
I expect him to pump this.
the Meekopi uses the ladder crawler to
Or
beat the 1/2 pirate, and he's going to do a partial clear for his board, for Aggronicus' board.
Yes. Okay, Aggronicus drawing much of a very not needed Bloodlust.
Yeah.
Bloodlust, one of the flashier, one of the more powerful spells in the game, only if you have a very good board. Well, actually, your board doesn't even have to be good. Like a board of 5/0/2 totems is 15 damage immediately.
Yeah, so if I'm playing a token shaman, I really have to compute it very carefully because sometimes when you have so much minions, you don't even know if you have the defo.
Exactly. So here Meekopi going for he's at the part of the game where he's going wide.
Yes.
And interesting enough, because of the changes in Shaman, they had to make space for Thrall.
Yeah.
And that's at the cost of Devolve in Aggronicus' case. Because usually Shaman packs in 2 Devolves.
Yes.
But Aggronicus only has 1.
Yeah, that's right.
And Devolve is one of the more important cards in this matchup. Because a board of buffed up creatures that are 1 to cast just become wisps or penguins.
Yeah, for example, if Meekopi uses the living mana and you devolve it, and
He can't get back the mana anymore.
so now he's thinking if he should use the Troll Death Seer or Mana Totem. Yeah.
He's probably going to go for the thing
Think from below. Yeah.
So Think from Below, an old card.
Yeah.
We've seen it for over a year already, but the power level is still
Still
there.
high, yeah.
Because the tempo swing from 2 to cast or even a 0 to cast taunt is huge.
So Meekopi is going to try to clear the board with Savage Roar probably, because he has.
It's funny because I'm actually thinking if this is lethal.
Yeah, you have Mark of the Lotus,
Because you
then
can go
Power
buff,
of Wild. Is it?
But if it's not lethal, which I think is not, you can't go all in here.
Okay, so Savage Roar.
It's not lethal. It's not lethal,
It's
but
not lethal.
he actually went for it.
Yeah.
If I may say, and I think that's a bit of a misstep in the sense that a single devolve is going to wreck him.
Yeah.
A single devolve is going to wreck him, and the thing is, he should have kept at least 1 buff in case of a devolve, because if let's say Aggronicus does devolve, he still has the board. Devolve doesn't kill the minions, it just makes them weaker.
Yeah, but the turn of defense here, he doesn't hit face with Savage Roar, but instead clears the board, which could give him a huge lead
Yeah.
against Aggronicus.
So again, that's a kind of way you should use those kind of cards like
Yes.
Bloodlust and Savage, or some people try to keep those kinds of cards in their hand going for a 1-turn kill, but that is a bit of a mistake.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't have to get the full 1-turn kill value from those cards, and putting your opponent at a very low life, let's say 15 or 10, is already good. It's already very good.
So now Aggronicus uses his DK without any minions on the board.
The downside
Yeah.
of the DK. Imagine if the DK was devolved in this case. It would have been much better.
Okay.
Oh, actually,
think he
Meekopi
has-
just drew the second Savage Roar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
75.
it's
It's
lethal.
lethal. Yeah.
That's actually how you win. You draw Savage Roar and then Savage Roar again. That's how you play Aggro Druid. So that's going to wrap up the first game, going to Meekopi.
Meekopi wins with the Aggro Druid against the Token Shaman of Aggronicus. So what does it leave Aggronicus with?
So it actually leaves Aggronicus with again his Shaman again,
Yeah.
his Paladin, and his Mage.
Mage.
We're actually going to see Jaina
Yeah.
now. So what do you think
cautious.
about the matchup? Is that the kind of games you like to play? Do you like to play fast-paced?
Like you said a while ago, I like to play control games.
Oh, okay.
But recently, since I saw that the druid is stronger now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you went for the
yeah,
druid.
we went for the druid.
Yeah.
But-
So the aggro decks this time around have retained their power.
Yes.
People were speculating that when Knights of the Frozen Throne arrives, it's going to be an era of control decks. Like aggressive decks will be out of the picture, but it's very obvious that it's not.
Yeah, but what happened to the aggro decks is just they're just adding
Yep.
some of the Knights of the Frozen
Yep.
Throne cards and tweaking it a little bit
Yeah.
and using those to their advantage.
Okay, so we're at the second round of Aggronicus versus Meekopi. Aggronicus going with OTK Mage.
Exodia!
Well, time and time again, as more cards get added into the standard rotation, decks like Open the Waygate become much more powerful because they have more options. But then Meekopi Meekopi on the other hand is on his mid-range Murloc Paladin list, which is a good matchup in a sense that he can end the game fast. You can't give Exodia Mage the time they need to get all of the cards they need to cycle more into their deck and kill you in one turn. But yeah.
So friends, what we need to do while we're fighting an Exodia Mage deck is to clear, not clear, to hit face as much as possible, right?
Actually, I would have hit face there.
Yeah, me too.
Because you're leaving your Tidecaller to die to a ping.
Yeah.
But he didn't fully utilize the one to cast 1/1 Divine Shield taunt
Yeah.
that he had. Because if you think about it, there's no good way for Aggronicus to deal with it.
So, Meekopi is getting pressure right here with the Doomsayer from Aggronicus. He has to take it out, but he has Blessing of
Yep.
Kings to
Which is
answer this
Doomsayer.
Doomsayer.
Which is very good for him because this knight, actually forgot what it's called.
That's Protector, Righteous Protector.
Righteous Protector. Righteous Protector is one of the best targets for your buff spells. And as you can see, it's still maintained its Divine Shield because Doomsayer is a 0/7.
Yeah.
So here, okay,
nice.
barrier.
Barrier.
I was actually thinking whether or not it was right to attack with a war leader
Warlock
first
war leader.
in case of a vaporize. But again, at first it's not a random spell,
Yes.
and two, keeping the 5/5 is much better in this case.
Yes. So now we're seeing Meekopi having 4 minions on the board right
Yep.
now, and he has board control, which is bad for Aggronicus because he has to catch up. He now tries, he pings the Murloc War Leader, and it's not going to do
That
much.
is going to be a lot of damage
Yeah.
actually for Meekopi.
Yeah. Meekopi uses the Spike Dreadsteed to buff up the Murloc War Leader, and
Yeah,
He's
interesting
half.
enough, actually Aggronicus has most of his combo in hand already, but there's a lot of things that don't fit the equation. First of all, he can die the next turn.
Yes.
Second of all, his quest count is actually still very low. I think he hasn't even played a spell that's not from his deck yet.
yeah.
So Meekopi just going to develop his board again.
Yeah, it's going to buff up again the Righteous Protector, the second one. And when you're playing Exodia Mage, you're always wishing that you have free spells to
Yep.
prolong the match. He's just at 1/6 for the quest. So it's looking very bleak for Aggronicus right now. And we're still waiting for Aggronicus to turn. He now has 3 sorcerers. Why does he have 3 sorcerers?
Oh, it's from the Simulacrum.
Ah, Simulacrum.
Yeah, Simulacrum is a 3 to cast spell
Yeah.
that copies the lowest casting cost minion in your hand.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's the only spell that's been added to Exodia Mage in Aggronicus' build. There's actually another build which makes use of Mukla,
Yeah.
as well as the new 4-drop that gives you a mirror image in your hand.
Yeah, that's what we call Ghastly Conjurer.
Yeah, Ghastly Conjurer.
It's
there you go.
it's one of the strong cards for Exodia Mage. And he pops the ice block of Aggronicus. Meekopi is now giving so much pressure for Aggronicus right now. That's the second ice block that he's cast.
Yep.
And 1/6, I think.
Yeah. So Aggronicus desperate to stay alive in this match. He's already at 1 life, 1 block popped already, and he's on his last block. It's going to take a miracle for Aggronicus to come back from this.
So what do you think? What do you think he can use to turn this game?
Well, first I think he needs to draw all of his free spells.
Yes.
But again, he's already used 2 of that. He's already used the Blizzard and the Nova. And I think Meekopi has him in a lock, except if he gets incredibly lucky with Glyph.
Yeah. Oh no. He used the
yep.
2 draw cards to try to take out the next freeze spell, but it's not.
Yep.
He's not lucky right now.
Aggronicus drawing his deck the other way around. He was hoping to draw. These Novice Engineer, Babbling Book, Arcanologist at at the earlier part of his turns, and then draw into his combo. But unfortunately, he drew into his combo too early, and he can't sustain himself.
So now Aggronicus is going to try to do the Exodia Mage.
He's actually trying to go off with Kabbalist Tome here.
Yeah. And Kabbalist Tome is going to go down to 0 cost.
Yep.
5.
Another Kabbalist Tome would be amazing here.
Oh,
He actually got the second
Oh my
Kabbalist
God.
Tome. So Aggronicus refusing to go down, drawing what he needed, completing the quest. I think he should be able to
Yeah,
complete the
he's going to
quest right
complete
now,
the
right?
quest, but he doesn't have the one most important card, Archmage Antonidas.
If he top decks the Antonidas, it's
Going to be
amazing.
epic.
Yep.
Yeah.
He should
Oh.
actually play the Arcanologist here
There you go.
to filter out his deck from 1 secret.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
Yeah,
yes,
he should play that.
Archaeologist, then Time Warp. No.
Let's see if
let's
Aggronicus
see.
actually gets
Top
the
deck.
Antonidas.
Top deck.
Or even a draw spell is fine.
Tony. Oh.
Oh, Glyph can get him.
Draw. Yeah, Arcane Intelligence.
He needs a freeze, basically. He needs a freeze here. He can draw a lot of cards that are good, but he can also draw a lot of cards that are bad. He
gets
got
an
the ice
ice
block. But the problem with that is he's gonna lose his OTK
Yeah.
potential. He could have used the ice block earlier, but I don't think that's enough.
That's not enough. So, I think this is a game
Yep.
for Meekopi.
This is why I love OTK Mage. It's so exciting to play in that you don't even know if you're gonna win.
Yeah.
The deck goes into autopilot mode and you just knock at the top of your deck and see what's going to happen. But Meekopi going to pop the block here and probably trade off, kill most of the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
And Aggronicus cannot come back from.
It depends if he gets I don't even know what he can get to come back from this game. He had a window to win.
Yeah.
He had a window to win.
He had this small window, but he didn't top deck
Yeah.
Antonidas.
Yeah. He can Meekopi can actually just go Primordial Drake and seal the deal here.
So I can just imagine if I was in Aggronicus' position, I
Yep.
would be so frustrated. Oh, that's unfortunate right there.
Yep, exactly.
It's overkill.
So that's that's. Oh, he actually drew the Antonidas the next turn.
One turn too late, and he pings himself to death.
His deck adding insult to injury, giving him the win. If only he drew the Antonidas the previous turn. I would have just rather conceded there,
Yeah.
rather than to feel even worse,
And you
knowing that
prolong
I
the
could have won.
agony,
Yep.
right? So Aggronicus used the Exodia Mage, hoping to do the OTK Mage combo.
Yep.
But he was overrun by the Murloc
He
Paladin.
was one card short.
One
and
card short.
That must feel incredibly painful.
If you were in his shoes, it's really going to be so frustrating.
Yeah.
It may affect the future games.
That's actually one of the reasons why I'm a caster now, because I'd rather cast games and be salty for other players than to
Yeah.
be in MeSA feeling the way that Aggronicus is feeling right now. So that's why I'm here. I'm just joking.
So we can say that there can be miracles.
Yep. Yep.
From 0-2, he could come back to maybe 1-2, then 2-2.
Yep. So Meekopi
yes.
on the verge of victory in this
Yes.
series. Up 2 games, he has the advantage. And the only deck left for him is actually his
Mage and
it's actually his
Mage was no.
his own version of Shaman.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
So
Shaman.
here, Meekopi with the standard list of Shaman, but he has another card that's new, which is Twilight Thrall. That's oh wait, I'm sorry.
No, it's the
four drop. What
Yeah.
do you call the 4-drop?
the 4-drop is Saronite Chain Gang.
Yeah, Saronite Chain Gang. Can you tell us what Saronite Chain Gang
So
is?
Saronite Chain Gang is a 4-drop that is has a 2/3, and it summons another 2/3
Yep.
with taunt.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the interesting part there is that it's a pseudo doppelgangster. It
Yeah.
copies itself, which means it's also a 4-drop.
Yeah, it's also the same
Yeah.
value
Yeah.
as
Doppelgangster,
Doppelgangster.
So Aggronicus, okay, he's not out of this. He has a good start in a 1-drop coin and 3-drop. But Meekopi also, actually Meekopi doesn't have a very good hand here.
Yeah, so we have a Murloc Paladin for Aggronicus, and he also carries the pseudo beast, non-beast Bone Mare.
Yep, yeah.
Bone
So Bone Mare, another addition from the previous, from the recent expansion.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what Bone Mare does?
Yeah, Bone Mare is a 7 mana card, 5/5 in health, 5/5 in body, and it adds +4/+4 to another minion with taunt. So
It's actually a common, and if you think about it, the effect that it does is very good because it's basically 9/9 worth of stats for 7, and it distributes it, and it gives taunt.
I was wondering what the devs were thinking about giving it a common classification. It should be like epic.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's not a beast, right?
Yeah, it's not a
not a beast, and I think it would be too good if it were a beast because, one, you can get it off of Curator. Second, I was gonna say that it's going to be too good for Hunter, but then I remembered that Hunter isn't even good. So
Not right now. Not right now.
throwing some shade in Hunter. Okay, so Aggronicus, going back to the match, Aggronicus choosing to keep the coin in his previous turns. In that, he wanted to point out his Finja.
Yeah.
But Meekopi actually has the good answer in Devolve.
Yeah, devolve. So if he devolves this, they could turn into a 4 and 2 mana minions.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
He got
Millhouse.
Millhouse.
Millhouse Mana Storm.
It's the best 2-drop that he could get.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the best in that it's a good card,
Yeah.
but it's the best because it has good stats.
Yeah, it has good stats. It's
Yeah.
4/4. It's golden.
And it's golden also. I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen a golden Millhouse actually.
If I got a Millhouse Mana Storm from a deck and it's golden, instant.
Yep.
DE.
That's free 1/6 dust, people.
Yeah. So
Aggronicus is probably okay. Aggronicus has 2 choices. He can choose to develop the weapon, clear a pirate, and then probably hero power, or he can go for a much bigger board. He can go for hero power and then buff up the 1/1 Murloc. giving him a 2-3 and a 2-2. Okay, so Aggronicus is going for that.
Yeah, he's going to kill the totem.
Yep.
And take out a Rock on turn, 2-3 minion.
So Aggronicus, okay with the fact that he's giving up the +1/+1 value, but then as you can see, it's bigger than the minions on board right now.
And Meekopi has the combo right now.
He has
Double Gangster evolved. And what are we going to see?
If he gets Doomsday.
No. Okay, so
Okay, this is actually one of the better outcomes. It's not flashy in that it has a lot of legendaries, but
Yeah.
it's also very good in that the stats are pretty good.
yes, because once you have a 1-mana minion and you evolve, you're really scared of getting a Doomsayer.
Yeah. So here, Meekopi going to hero power, trying to get the spell power, and he actually gets it.
It's double spell power.
Yeah.
That's 3 damage.
He should actually probably portal first.
Yeah, total first to get. He can get a charged minion.
Yeah, because there was actually merit into trading the going portal and then trade the Thalnos because you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. And there's the Saronite chain gang that we were talking about a while ago.
So Meekopi a bloodlust away from winning this game, and with the addition of Mana Tide Totem to the board, he's getting closer and closer to that spell.
So for Meekopi should be screaming at his home right now. Bloodlust, bloodlust.
He's probably wishing for a blood.
Yeah, top deck.
That's how you win in Hearthstone, people.
What? I forgot what he.
He got Noble
secret.
Sacrifice.
Noble sacrifice. So
that eliminates one attacker actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
we have a
12
bit of
plus 6. That's 20.
This is 12 damage, and then this is 16.
Yeah, so 12 plus
oh, it's actually short. He's actually
12 plus 6. That's
It's
short
not,
one.
Yep, it's not lethal yet. I think. Yeah, it's
yeah.
not lethal.
It's not lethal. Aggronicus can still come back with
Tyrion.
Tyrion.
Yep.
So he should. What do you think Meekopi should do here?
Okay, so this is some of the plays that are going to differentiate good players with. If you want to break the barrier between being amazing at the game and just being good, it's these type of plays that you have to consider. I think there was merit into using the Bloodlust there and putting his opponent down to 1, I think, right? 1?
Yeah.
Because he'd be just a Jade Lightning away from killing his opponent. And the thing with this matchup is you never know when you're gonna keep your board. Paladin has very good ways to clear your board.
And if Aggronicus summons a Tyrion Fordring, he could easily be killed in the next turn.
Let's see if he's actually dead.
So that's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. That's 21.
No, that's lethal. That's lethal, I think. Yeah, it's lethal.
Yeah, it's lethal.
It's more than lethal, actually. So with that, Aggronicus goes down 3 games to 0. Unfortunately, yep.
And the Meekopi's decks are really good right now against Aggronicus. Yeah, that's just 0-3.
That's the problem with bringing in control decks. Yes, control decks are very good against aggressive decks, but what you're losing is the consistency of aggressive decks. You're losing you're losing multiple cards that do the same effect, and that's just the nature of control. You know, they're good in a sense that you can go late. You can deal with You can deal with early aggression very easily. But if you don't get the right cards at the right time, you're just going to lose.
But one of the problems of aggressive decks is that if you don't think about your next move and you just go face, the control deck that you're fighting could easily go back. And what happened here was Meekopi had good draws.
Yeah.
He had the exact for the last match. He had the exact 6 mana combination of Doppelgangster plus
he did.
Evolve. It's one of the game changers for.
And that just proves that you don't need new decks to be to win.
Yeah.
The old decks that we had before are still good.
Yeah.
For those people who are looking for dust, in need of dust to make new decks, you don't have to go new
Yes.
in order to win. You can actually just refine the old decks that you had before.
Yes, you can just add one card or two
Yeah.
cards that can improve your deck
Yep.
exponentially. So like one of the cards that we are looking at is Bone Mare.
Yep, Bone Mare.
Bone Mare. Lich King is okay. Lich King is
Yeah, good one.
Lich King is one of the Doctor 8s.
Yep.
Yeah, and some other cards.
Yeah. So with that, props out to Meekopi being our first player to go 3-0, eliminating Aggronicus from this from the tournament, and we'll be taking a short 10-minute break. Please tune in. While waiting, why don't you go and tell us how we can know more about MeSA?
So if you want to know more about MeSA, you can visit fb.com/mobile esports arena, and you can visit us at youtube.com/MeSA official, and for Twitch, twitch.tv/MeSA official. And we would like to mention Bren Esports. Special mention to Bren Esports for mobile esports arena.
Yep. So with that, stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the 4th round of the Mobile Esports Arena Hearthstone tournament for the month of August.